Hey ladies, the Open, I know, it's all consuming, alright, it's now over. It's over for another year, so finally, and lastly, congratulations on everybody that signed up, alright, and thank you to everybody that did their judges courses, that cheered each other on, that brought in scorecards, just for turning up. Thank you very much, it's much appreciated. So at the very least, at the very most, I hope you feel bloody awesome. And I know most of yous, if not all of yous, actually managed to RX at least one of the workouts, which I'm sure you didn't think you would be able to do. So well done. And at the very least, you now have a list of things to work on for next year. Anyway, right, it's over. It's all consuming and it is over. But whether you loved it, survived it, or you're just very happy that it's over, we are now moving on to the next part of our journey together. That is just the boring basic stuff. So this is the stuff that matters, all right? It's the training, it's the turning up to the gym, it's the consistency, it's the habits that build the strength and the confidence, all right? It is literally just a case of turning up to the gym. So what I would like you all to do is think about the days and the sessions and the times that suit you, all right? Obviously there's 7 a week. Book them in on a Sunday and try and be consistent with attending. Right now, I know we've all got shit going on in our life, all right? We've all got holidays, which is amazing. We've all got work that can interfere sometimes. We get ill, kids get ill, partners get ill, whatever, right? Life just gets in the way sometimes. But this is the time between this Open and next Open that we can build strength and we can build confidence. And a lot of that is just about turning up, all right? Even on the days, more importantly, on the days that we cannot be arsed, we will never regret a workout that we managed to do. Never. Never. Absolutely never. Will you regret the one that you decide that you can't be arsed coming to because you just want to sit on the sofa? More than likely, all right? Anyway, midlife confidence. This is a little chat about midlife confidence. So, the two biggest things we can do for midlife confidence is lift weights. I'm speaking to you right now. You all do that, right? And fuel your body properly. And the most interesting part I find, and I have been there myself, is that we usually manage to nail one of those things and not necessarily the other. So, something a lot of women, right, struggle with in our 40s and 50s as we start to doubt ourselves. So obviously we have our bodies, right, and they're amazing, but our bodies do change physically wise, and just things like our brain changes, our mental attitude can change. We can doubt ourselves, we can be filled with anxiety, we can be filled with imposter syndrome, right? And if that's at your work, that can sometimes carry over into our life as well. And that makes it more difficult to come to the gym sometimes, because when you're sitting at home and you're sitting thinking that you've got nothing worthwhile to say and nobody's listening to you and nobody likes you, can be a thought as well. And that's horrible, right? That is brutal. And also just like I said earlier, our bodies change, all right? Our shape changes. Of course it does. We don't look like we did when we were in our 20s. Well, I don't know about you. I think I look better now than I did in my 20s. But that's just came from turning up to the gym all the time and sorting my nutrition out. Exactly what I'm speaking about, all right? But a lot of women that I work with as well hanker after the body that they had in their 20s, hanker after the body that they had before they had kids, right? And I was having a laugh with Gail actually the other day, because apparently on her first or second session, Jodie had walked into the gym and Gail had said, I want to look like that. And I said, not a fucking chance, right? But she got me back because I was explaining to her that I would love to look like Danielle Brandon, who is my absolute CrossFit hero. And Gail was like, no chance. So we're pretty much ekies now, all right? But anyway, it's about working with what we have at the moment as opposed to hankering after what we used to have, right? Most of us will never have the body that we had in our teenage years or in our 20s, right, and before we had kids. And that's okay. And part of midlife confidence is accepting that and just working with what you've got, do you know? So just getting yourself stronger. losing a bit of body fat, if you want to lose a bit of body fat, if you're perfectly happy with the body that you have and the shape that you are and the size that you are, that's fucking amazing. I absolutely take my hat off to you. But again, on top of that, what we want to do is we want to do everything we can to protect our future health. We want to make our bones as strong as possible. We want to make our joints as strong as possible. We want to work on our mobility. We want to work on our stability. And all of this stuff helps us later on in life. It helps us get out of bed in the morning. It helps us get off the toilet. Stops us from having midlife falls and slips, which again can obviously stop us from breaking bones, which makes us more mobile and more stable. We want to be able to go and lift our own shopping bags. We want to be able to get that thing off the high shelf in the cupboard. We want to be able to bring the suitcases down from the attic on our own. This is the kind of things that we want. We're fighting for independence here, and we want to keep our independence for as long as we can. Right, so on top of all of that, right, our bodies are changing, our energies can shift, our energies can drop. I'm sure a lot of yous, a lot of yous have suffered from midlife fatigue, right? And I'm not just speaking about, oh my God, I never slept last night, I'm tired. I'm speaking about that bone tired, you literally cannot get off the sofa. And it's hard, I totally get that, but the more that we give into that, just the more we get used to just sitting on the sofa. And this is what we're fighting. We want to be capable, we want to be strong, we want to be resilient mentally and physically. So this is my chat, right? Anyway, I want you all to feel superly duperly confident, and confidence comes from taking action. It doesn't come from sitting thinking about improving your nutrition. It doesn't come from, oh hi there, can I have your recipe books, right? Like these are all very well educated women, right? We do not need more recipe books. We do not need more high protein recipes, right? We have everything. Most of the time we just need to implement the stuff that we already know. So anyway, most of you already know this because you listen to me banging on about it all the time, all right? But I want you to be mentally resilient. I want you to be physically resilient. I want you to be strong. And that comes from getting your backsides into the gym consistently over time. And again, I'm not speaking about the holidays or the time off or the illness or anything like that. I'm just speaking about consistently over time. Remember, consistent is not perfection, all right? So you are capable. I'm sure you all know this. I tell you this all the time. You are stronger than you think you are, and you are way more amazing than you think you are as well. I just need you to believe it. All right. So fueling your body in midlife is equally as important as lifting the weights. And for a lot of women, myself included, turning up at the gym for 1 hour of the day or 2 hours of the day is way easier than controlling what goes into your mouth the other 22 or 23 hours of the day. Right? That is literally the hardest thing to do. So you do show up, you do lift weights, you do train. I know a lot of you aren't feeling your bodies properly. I know a lot of you are under eating. So we're either under eating, which is a very massive thing for midlife women, coming from the diet culture from the 80s and the 90s, when you just have a cup of coffee and smoke a fag or eat a bar of chocolate or whatever, all right? But it does get harder in midlife, and our bodies need fueled differently. Our energy is affected, our recovery is slower, and the workouts possibly feel harder than they should, right? I've also had another conversation with another lady, midlife lady, Ladies at Lift actually, whose family member, I can't remember who it was, anyway, it doesn't matter, was concerned that they were going to be overtraining because they were training twice a day, right? Now, you all know there's 2 sessions on a Monday and there's 2 sessions on a Thursday, right? They're both different, and they're both different for a reason, so that you're not overtraining, all right? But most of the time, it's very difficult to overtrain, right? Very, very difficult to overtrain, but it's very easy to under-recover. And recovery comes from protecting your protecting your sleep, right? And having your pre-bed routine so that you're putting your phones away, you're switching the telly off, you're reading, you're journaling, you're listening to podcasts, whatever your thing is, audio books, whatever your thing is, all right? And also under fueling, this is where recovery comes from, right? So to recover, we need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. a night. We need 3 to 4 litres of water a day. We need 5 to 7 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. We need to eat a lot of protein, all right? This is where under recovery. So if you're constantly feeling knackered, right, and you think, I'm too tired, I'm just going to skip the gym, chances are you're not overtraining. Chances are you are under recovering and under fueling. So I want you to start, if you're not doing this already, start thinking about the fuel and the kind of food that you're eating and the amount of food that you're eating, because most of you, like I said, will be under eating, right? Most midlife women would do very well on at least 1,700 calories a day. At least 1,700 calories a day, right? Now, in theory, if you were splitting that equally over the course of your 3 meals, that's 500 calories for your breakfast, 500 calories for your lunch, and 500 calories for your dinner. Right, that is that is massively in excess of a banana for your breakfast, a cup of soup and a bag of vegetables for your lunch, and then a chicken breast and some veg for your dinner, all right? You need protein, ladies, for your muscles. You need carbs also for your energy, for your brain fog and for your energy. Again, most midlife women, ideally, 140 to 150 grams of protein a day. But if you're nowhere near that at the moment, try and get 100 grams of protein in, all right? Track your food on MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is an amazing tool, by the way. It's filled with data. It doesn't have morals, it doesn't judge you, and it doesn't really matter, all right? But log in your food for a fortnight. Don't change anything about what you're eating. Log in your food for a fortnight would be an amazing... It would just give you amazing data, and it would give you a benchmark. It's like the CrossFit Open, all right? It doesn't judge you, it just meets you where you are. This is what MyFitnessPal does. Track your food for a fortnight and see where you are. See how many calories you're eating a day. See how much protein you're eating a day, because you're probably not eating enough, all right? This is where the magic happens, ladies. Nailing your nutrition and getting your peachy asses into the gym. All right, this is what will make you feel more confident. This is what will give you energy. This energy will overflow into every part of your life. So, anyway, I want you to be the strongest, most confident woman you have ever been in any part of your life. If you need any help with anything, my lovelies, just give me a chat. Just give me a message. Drop me a wee message. You've all got me on WhatsApp, all right? Anyway, I want you to feel awesome. Lifting weights. So, the 2 best things you can do for midlife. Exercise and activity, that's one thing. And nutrition. The 2 hardest things to nail in midlife, exercise and activity and nutrition. All right? Be awesome, my ladies. I will see you all soon. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.